What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching another video. Today we're going to be working again on my Audi A3. I have a mod that I've been wanting to install for a while, but with the cold weather in New Jersey, it has been very hard to be able to do so. But I have it all spread out here on the floor already opened it because I was excited. It is a flex fuel sensor kit for the S3 from Fuel-It. I will put the link down in the description for this product, but it looks super nice. We have the little Bluetooth because this is going to be running off an app on my phone, and here is the flex fuel sensor itself. Little crimp pliers. They look kind of small. I hope these will actually work. Wiring harness, and you have your two fuel lines with quick connects on the ends that will install right into the flex fuel sensor. So let's go outside to the car and get this installed. This shouldn't take any more than like 20 or 30 minutes. It is a very easy and self-explanatory install on these cars. What's up, everyone? It's me from the future. I wanted to add this clip in after the intro. It seems that I made a mistake in the video. That 20 amp fuse that I spoke about that releases the fuel pressure from the fuel pump, it seems to be that it's possibly incorrect. I had a few people tell me that the S3 has the same style fuse as the GTI to disable the fuel pump. Now, I should have done my research and looked this up before making the video instead of taking somebody's word for it. So basically, when I looked it up after, I realized that that's a fuel injector and fuel control module fuse. Now, not saying that the fuse won't release the fuel pressure in the system either. Just it's better for you guys to do a little bit of research before popping that fuse and hoping that all the pressure in the line gets taken out. My personal recommendation would be to let your car sit overnight or let it sit for a day or two and then do this install so you'll have the most minimal pressure possible in the system. Now, I apologize again. You'll see me reference that 20 amp is a fuel pump fuse that'll help release pressure in the system. I'm not 100% sure if that is true. I took the word of a couple of people that I asked that have the same kit or similar kits, and they reassured me that fuse will do that, but I have my doubts because of the description that fuse has when looking it up myself. So I apologize if that fuse does do the job of releasing the pressure in the line. That's great. I'm glad it worked. But just a disclaimer before the video really starts that there is a possibility that fuse does not do what I say it does in the video. And I'm sorry that it is in there for that reason alone. So anyways, let's get into the video. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. Alright guys, so we are under the hood of the S3. We're going to be working in this section today. So we have the high pressure fuel pump here, and we're going to be replacing this entire fuel line that goes all the way to the other side of the engine. So it is a pretty simple install. I think the hardest thing that is going to be is actually just running the wiring for this kit. But besides that, it is pretty simple. So we're going to start by pulling off this fuel line and replacing it with the new one. Alright guys, so I pulled, there's all these tabs where the fuel line gets clipped into, so I pulled all these tabs off, and I have the pliers on the high pressure line. We're gonna pull it off. Like I said, it shouldn't be too hard. When you clamp it, it should just start to pull away. So I have a couple towels just in case, but like I said, there shouldn't be any pressure because I haven't driven the car in like a week and a half. So let me put the towel around. If there's a little wind, I am sorry. It is a little windy today, but let me grab it like this. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand. Feel like it released. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, guys, there was literally no pressure in the line at all. Like there wasn't even a hiss. So again, if you don't daily your car, you can manage to probably get away with not having to do the start method by pulling the fuse over here. So if you haven't driven the car in a while, you probably won't have any kind of pressure in the system. So now that this is released, I'm going to remove the opposite end side and remove this little clip here. You could do this by hand and remove the entire fuel line, get ready to install the new one. Alright guys, and here we go. So the old fuel line is off the car. The clamp on the other side of the fuel line is the exact same kind of clamp that is on the high pressure fuel pump. So it is the same process, just unclip it, and you're going to want to just undo it and pull off, and that's pretty much it. So now we can get to the new Fuel-It lines. So, and quick connects. This is really nice actually. So let's get this on the car. Alright guys, so basically the short line you're going to get is going to go to the high pressure fuel pump, and the long line you're going to get is going to go to the other side right here. So I already have the lines in place. So now I'm going to get the sensor section of it. Here's the sensor, and here's the Bluetooth analyzer and our harness. So I'm going to try and find a way to neatly install everything right here so that it looks pretty much stock, so I can put the engine cover back on. Alright guys, so I just put the sensor in the middle here. It is all nice and secure, and like I said, I use these stock tabs from where the stock fuel line went. I'm going to try and get this to tuck in pretty well to install the aftermarket fuel lines, and it all came up pretty good, and this is nice and tight. The quick connects are all put together. So now I'm going to be showing you guys how to basically wire this harness. It is very, very simple. It's just power and ground, and that's it. So we're going to be using a ground that's going to be right here. I don't know if you can see that there is a 13mm bolt for the battery holder that we're going to put the ground to, and then we're going to do the positive to where this fuel pump fuse is, the 20 amp. We're going to run the wires there. Alright guys, so I put the sensor in and I ran the lines over here. We have the harness right there, and we have, here's the positive. I haven't done anything with that yet. Here is the negative. So basically the ring terminal for the ground is going to be too small to fit through the 13mm that holds the battery holder right there. I don't know if you can see that with the lighting, but there is a 13mm bolt that holds the battery down there that you can use as a ground, and the ring terminal is a little small. So what I did, I just took a drill bit and very quickly just made the bore of the hole a little bigger on the ring terminal to fit around the screw, and now it's all set. So I'm going to screw down the ground, and then we're going to wire in the positive to the 20 amp here for the low pressure fuel pump, and then this we're probably just going to put some tape on the end because we don't need this. I believe this is a connection if you have a JB4 that you're going to be using this with, which I don't have, so I don't need this. So I'm going to cap this off so it doesn't make any contact with anything. Alright guys, so I had to change a plan. I was going to wire the power to the 20 amp for the fuse right here, but I actually decided just to go straight to the battery because the ring terminal sits so nice, and that the battery cover for this, it kind of hides the wires. So when I close all of this up with my intake box here, you won't see any of the wires at all. So if you look from the front, you don't see anything, and then you'd have to come from behind here to even see the red wire. And even though you can see it if you're like really looking on top of it like this, it kind of looks stock. Besides this, I'm going to clean up these harnesses right here, but besides that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go on the Fuel It app right now and see if everything turns on when I power on the vehicle. I have not crimped the fuel lines yet. I still have to do that. I'm not going to start the car yet, obviously. I just want to make sure that the whole Bluetooth and the whole setup is working. But yeah, I just powered it to the positive on the battery, and then the little 13mm holder right there. I think you could get a good view right there. So now let's go in the car and see if the app actually works with the Bluetooth. Alright guys, so I have my phone mounted to where my access port usually is, and this is the Fuel It app. You can find it on the iTunes store or on the Android market. You should be able to find it. Now, it does cost $4.99, so just know if you want to use the app, you do have to pay $4.99. Just a little heads up. So from the cost of the kit plus this, it is going to be a little more, but for $4.99, obviously after you spend $300 something is really not a big deal. So everything is connected. So I have the app, my Bluetooth is on. Let's see if it'll connect. It says connecting, and there you go guys, it connected very quickly. So at least I know my connections are good. Everything is grounded properly, there's power, and it does show the ethanol content as E12. So when you put in 93, I'm on the 93 tune right now. I got off the E30 because of just, you know, going back and forth with the pumped E30 and whatnot. It's a lot easier to get 93. So if you're on the 93 tune, you should see anywhere between E10 and E15. So E12 is perfect. My car is off right now. This is it monitoring it through the system. Once I clamp down the hoses 100%, then I'll start the car, see if there are any leaks, and then see how much is really running through the system. So let's get to that. At least now we know that the Bluetooth and the wiring and everything came out good. Alright guys, so just a little heads up that I wanted to tell you. The pliers that they supply with the kit are absolutely awful. This is good for taking off the clamps on the stock fuel line, but to crimp the new clamps that come with the Fuel It kit, these are awful. This is like a $5 option. Like I said, it's good to take off the stock clamps, but this does not work in the slightest for trying to tighten everything up. So maybe I'm just really weak and I'm just not strong enough, but these are literally about to break. The handles are like basically bending. I don't know if the camera can tell, but like they're bending, and yeah, these are about to break. So I gotta run to the store and actually buy good ones so I can finish this install. So yeah. Alright guys, so this is going to be the finished product. Now if you can see the high pressure fuel pump, the clamp is not 100% tight on there, and neither it is on this side. I have to go out and get the new pliers because the one that's supplied with the kit are awful, and I just don't have time today to do that. So I'm gonna finish the full install tomorrow just to make sure there's no leaks, but this is the gist of it. So everything is connected. You have the flex fuel sensor in with the Bluetooth. As you can see, that worked before, and everything is wired up. Let me turn on my LED light now. Sorry guys, I had a lot of like loud noise around me, but so I have the ground there, I have the positive to the battery there, and everything else is good to go. I have all the fuel lines in place. Like I said, I just need to clamp down these clamps. I've got to get the new pliers tomorrow for this, the special tool, so I can really tighten these. I mean, they're pretty tight, they won't come off, but I'm not going to risk having any leaks or driving the car or anything like that, because unfortunately, like I said before, the pliers that Fuel It supplies are not very sturdy. And again, it might just be me, I might not just be strong enough, but everything is in. I'm gonna clean up these wires, maybe disconnect this and run it a little cleaner so that it's not as noticeable. But overall, I'm very, very happy with the way that the install came out, and it all ran to the factory holders. So that is basically the finished product. This shouldn't take any more than like 20 to 30 minutes at most. So it's the next day. I couldn't finish the install completely because the Oederker pliers that Fuel It provides with the kit are not sufficient enough to close up the clamps that they provide enough to make everything as tight as possible. So obviously like that, I'm not going to run the car. So I had to go to Lowe's and buy new Oederker pliers that are a lot bigger, that were sufficient enough to do the job that I needed. So now all we got to do is make sure there's no leaks. I'll show you guys the engine bay, everything all tightened up, and we're going to start it up, make sure, like I said, that there's no leaks, and then the install will be 100% finished. All right guys, so as you can see, this clamp is all nice and tight now, as well as on this side. So everything is nice and snug. All of these are in the stock mounting tabs from the OEM fuel line. Everything is wired up. Like I said before, I am gonna try and clean up this, maybe trying to hide it a little better, but for now that's sufficient enough. So next clip is gonna be me starting the car and hopefully no fuel spraying anywhere. All right, so let's start up the car and see. Okay. Right, so looks like that was a success. There's no leaks from starting up, so I'll let the car warm up, check it then, but I think we're good to go, guys. It looks like the install went well. Unfortunately, like I said, they don't supply very good pliers for the job, so I did have to spend like $10 on some cheap ones at Lowe's that were able to do the job sufficient enough to close everything and tighten everything up. All right, everyone, so that is going to conclude the video. Thank you so much for watching. This is a mod that I've been wanting to do for a while. I really need to know exactly the content of ethanol I have in my system when I'm running E30 and not just guess. Even though the calculator that I use on my phone is very good and seems to have been decently accurate from the numbers that I put into it, but just this way, it's peace of mind that I know I'm running the right fuel, the right mixes, and all that, and I won't have to have any headaches of the car braking or the car not running right, the car fuel cutting because there's too much ethanol. It'll cut out all those variables when you pretty much are guessing or using a calculator on your phone. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. It is a super simple install, like I said. It should take no more than like 20 or 30 minutes at most, and everything is pretty self-explanatory. The kit is super nice. It is really good quality. I love the quick connects that they provide. Everything just seems really nice. It fits really well with the car as well. All the little crevices and all the tabs that the fuel lines go into, and the spot where the flex fuel sensor goes in right in the middle fits in perfect with the engine bay of this car. But again, guys, if you have any questions about the kit or anything that you need help with when it comes to Audis, Minis still, Miatas, whatever, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. It lets YouTube know that I'm doing a good job, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.